Good morning, students. Today we are going to study the same topic, the summer of the beautiful white horse, and we would like to begin from here. Morid, I said, where did you steal this horse? Leap out of the window, he said, if you want to ride. It was true then he had stolen the horse. There was no question about it. He had come to invite me to ride or not as I choose. Well, it seemed to me stealing a horse for a ride was not the same thing as stealing something else, such as money. For all I knew, maybe it wasn't stealing at all. So, dear students, you can say that the narrator is developing his own philosophy of stealing. It means if someone is stealing the horse for not making money, so it is not stealing, and if only he or she learns how to ride it, so it would not be regarded as stealing. So this was the philosophy developed by the author. So for all I knew, maybe it wasn't stealing at all. If you were crazy about horses the way my cousin Morit and I were, it wasn't stealing. It wouldn't become stealing until we offered to sell the horse, which of course I knew we would never do. Let me put on some clothes, I said. All right, he said, but hurry. I leaped into my clothes. I jumped down to the yard from the window and leaped up onto the horse behind my cousin Morit. Class, leap out means here jump out from a place. Explanation of the above passage is he asked Morid if he had stolen the horse. Morid replied if he wants a ride, he must jump out of the window. Aram was convinced that the horse was stolen by Morid. He came to visit him to ask him to ride it with him. Aram tried to convince himself that it was not the same as stealing money, as they both were so crazy about riding a horse. He thought that it would not be called stealing until they decide to sell it, which they would never do. Aram said he will wear some clothes and come outside. He jumped down to his yard from his room's window and sat on the horse behind his cousin. Further lines from the textbook are that year we lived at the edge of town on Walnut Avenue. Behind our house was the country, vineyards, orchards, irrigation ditches, and country roads. In less than 3 minutes, we were on Olive Avenue, and then the horse began to trot. Trot means here to run. The air was new and lovely to breathe. The feel of the horse running was wonderful. My cousin Morid, who was considered one of the craziest members of our family, began to sing. He began to roar. Further, he says, every family has a crazy streak in it somewhere, and my cousin Morid was considered the natural descendant of the crazy streak in our tribe. Before him was our uncle Khosrov, an enormous man with a powerful head of black hair and the largest mustache in the San Joaquin Valley. A man so furious in temper, so irritable, so impatient that he stopped anyone from talking by roaring. It is no harm, pay no attention to it. Some of the word meanings are vineyard means here plantation of grape vines used in wine making. Orchard means here a piece of land of the plantation of fruits. Irrigation ditches means man-made channel used to deliver water to homes, industries and other uses. Trot means here proceed with something. Descendant, a system that develops from an earlier simple version. You can say that follower. Streak means race. Enormous means a huge. San Joaquin Valley means one of the long interior valleys of California. Dear students, let us have the explanation of the above passage. Aram lived at the edge of the town on Walnut Avenue. There were orchards, vineyards, irrigation ditches, and country roads behind his house. They were on Olive Avenue within 3 minutes, and the horse started to proceed. The air felt new and lovely to breathe. Aram felt wonderful sitting on the horse which was running. Moraid started singing loudly, who was considered one of the craziest members of the family. There is one crazy person in every family, and Moraid was the one natural descendant in every family, and Moraid was the one natural descendant of crazy race in their tribe. Before Moraid was Uncle Khosrow was the one huge man with black hair and largest mustache in the valley. He had an energetic temper and was impatient, which was irritating. He used to make anyone stop talking by roaring. Roaring means yes, shouting, and say, "It is no harm, pay no attention to it." Further lines are that was all, no matter what anybody happened to be talking about. Once it was his own son Eric, running 8 blocks to the barber's shop where his father was having his mustache trimmed, to tell him their house was on fire. This man Khosrow sat up in the chair and roared, "It is no harm, pay no attention to it." The barber said, "But the boy says your house is on fire." So Khosrow roared, "Enough, it is no harm, I say. My mother, my cousin Moraid, was considered the natural descendant of this man, although Moraid's father was Jorab, who was practical and nothing else. That's how it was in our tribe. A man could be the father of his son's flesh, but that did not mean that he was also the father of his spirit. The distribution of the various kinds of spirit of our tribe had been from the beginning capricious and vagrant. Further writer says, "We rode and my cousin Morid sang. For all anybody knew, we were still in the old country where, at least according to some of our neighbors, we belonged. We let the horse run as long as it felt like running. Capricious means inconsistent, change of mood. Vagrant means a person without a settled home or work." Explanation of the above passage is Uncle Khosrow was always this rigid, no matter who happened to be talking about in front of him. Once his own son Eric came running to him when he was getting his mustache trimmed at the barber's shop. He told him the house was on fire, to which he roared and said the same dialogue. Barber was amused and tried to talk to him about it, but as usual, Khosrow roared again and did not pay attention to it. Morid was considered to be a natural descendant of this man, but he was not his son. His father was Joreb, who was a practical person. A child could look like his father, but doesn't mean he gets his nature and attitude just the same. There are different kinds of people in their tribes, moody and without any settled work or home. They were still riding the horse, and Moraid was still singing loudly. They were still in the countryside where, according to their neighbors, they belonged to. Further lines from the textbook are: At last my cousin Moraid said, "Get down, I want to ride alone." "Will you let me ride alone?" I asked. "That is up to the horse," my cousin said. "Get down." "The horse will let me ride," I said. "We shall see," he said. "Don't forget that I have a way with a horse." "Well," I said, "any way you have with a horse, I have also." "For the sake of your safety," he said. "Let us hope so. Get down." All right, I said, but remember, you have got to let me try to ride alone. I got down, and my cousin Murad kicked his heels into the horse and shouted, Wazir, run. The horse stood on its hind legs, snorted, and burst into a fury of speed that was the loveliest thing I had ever seen. My cousin Murad raced the horse across a field of dry grass to an irrigation ditch, crossed the ditch on the horse, and 5 minutes later returned dripping wet. Wazir means a name, fury means anger. Explanation of the above passage is Murad asked him to get down as he wanted to ride alone. Aram asked if he could ride the horse alone. He said it is up to the horse if he wants to ride you along and asked him to get Murad down again. Aram tried to convince him that the horse would let him ride, to which Murad said that we shall see, and told Aram that he had a way with a horse. Aram told him that he had it too. Murad told him to get down and said it is for his own safety. Let us hope so. Aram got down while telling him that he will ride the horse alone. Murad kicked his heels in the horse and shouted run to him. The horse stood on its hind legs, breathed out and ran into a speed. Murad raced the horse across a field of dry grass and irrigation ditches. When they arrived 5 minutes later, they were wet. This is the explanation of the above passage. So, dear students, further lines from the textbook are: the sun was coming up. Now it's my turn to ride, I said. My cousin Murad got off the horse. Ride, he said. I leaped to the back of the horse and for a moment knew the most awful fear imaginable. The horse did not move. Kick into his muscles, my cousin Murad said. What are you waiting for? We have got to take him back before everybody in the world is up and about. I kicked into the muscles of the horse. Once again it reared and snorted. Then it began to run. I didn't know what to do. Instead of running across the field to the irrigation ditch, the horse ran down the road to the vineyard of Dikran Halabian, where it began to leap over vines. The horse leaped over 7 vines before I fell, then it continued running. My cousin Murad came running down the road. I'm not worried about you, he shouted. We have got to get that horse. You go this way and I will go this way. If you come upon him, be kindly, I'll be near. Plus, reared means here raised. Snorted means breathed out. Explanation of the above passage is: the sun was almost up, and Aram told him it was his turn to ride. Murad got off, and Aram sat on the horse. He was fearful, and the horse did not move. Murad tried to guide him by saying that he should try to kick into his muscles, and told him that he should hurry because they need to take him back before everyone woke up. Aram kicked into the muscles of the horse, to which the horse again raised and breathed out. The horse began to run, and Aram didn't know what to do next. The horse started going towards the road that leads to the vineyard of Dikran Halabian. It began to move over vines, and Aram fell down. The horse continued to run, and Murad came running down the road downwards him. Murad told him that he is not worried about him, but they need to find the horse. They both went different ways to find him. He instructed Aram to be kind if he saw him anywhere. So class, let us have only these explanations of the passages, and further explanations will be made in the next class, in next lecture. Thank you, students.